everybody. Welcome back. We're here again. Sorry for the technical difficulties with the Filmmakers meet and greet at the Catskill International Film Festival. My name is Sunny Edleman. I'm the president of Upstate New York Women in Film and Television. And we're here meeting some of the filmmakers at the Catskill International Film Festival. First, we're going to talk to Ilana Frankel, who has a film playing in the next block.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Ilana Frankel, and yes, my short documentary that I produced and directed called Cannabis and Creativity goes live later today, this afternoon or early evening, and pretty excited. This has been a labor of love. This has been a long journey to get here. But thrilled nonetheless. And I am extremely happy to have my producing and directing partner here, Cassia Graham, who co-produced and assistant directed with me on this project. This has been, like I said, a labor of love, a year in the making. It follows 6 incredibly creative people and their sort of understanding and use of the plant and how it amplifies, supports their creative output. And as we know, through anecdotal evidence, all these years, half of Spotify, most of Netflix, and none of Roku would have existed if pot wasn't around. But what I wanted to do is really focus on not only anecdotal evidence, but science. So we were lucky enough to have an incredible research scientist who works directly with the plant and who's also a musician to really talk about the science behind cannabis and creativity. And I think that takes it really to another level, and it allows the sort of educational process to creep in, which always makes me happy because people can talk all they want and anecdotal evidence is great and stories are amazing and I'm loving a storytelling moment. But once you bring the science into it and once the facts and the truth are there, it's hard to argue with it. This has been, like I said, a year in the making with an incredible cast and crew, cast of 6 people, all in New York, all who focus on different types of creative output. But then we were also blessed to work with a small but mighty crew, all of whom really passionate about all of this storytelling, all of this ability to really create a safe space so that our creative people, our cast, could really talk openly. And for lots of people for the first time are talking openly about their cannabis use. And so it was really important that for me that the community be tight and safe so that we can get to the real good stuff.
We also have Cassia, who was your DP on the film. And I wanted her to also introduce herself. Where are you from, Cassia? And why were you interested in working on this project?
Cassie, I love that you've just been made DP. So don't.
I'm sorry. I thought you were the
DP. Sorry, Glenn. Glenn,
yeah.
I love you, Glenn.
I was definitely going to correct that. I was like AD, not DP. I was not behind the. I mean, I was behind the camera and I was taking pictures behind the scenes.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
No.
Who's your DP? Who's the guy? I apologize. Who was
Glenn Mordecki? Yeah.
Glenn, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Cassie. I'm sorry.
So we shower Glenn with lots of love. So he's good and he's amazing at what he does. I could never take a spot. So my name is Cassia, originally from Jamaica and the West Indies, but raised most of my life in New York City. I attended LaGuardia High School, where I was an art major. I went to NYU. I was a full major. And then through various twists and turns, I ended up in the cannabis industry. I actually entered into the legal industry after 2 bouts of cancer. And at sometime early last year, I approached our executive producer about another type of project. And they said, Alana's already working on something. Do you have any interest in working with Alana? I was like, absolutely. We had already collaborated on something else that I produced and that she was a subject in. And, everything just went really smoothly. So once we started working together, we had that same flow. She's very eccentric and I'm kind of also probably a little eccentric, but I am also able to really button it down in a way that kind of annoys her, but lovingly so. And
that was the greatest description of you of all time. I'll take it. Fantastic description. You nailed it.
I finally know myself. But no, but it's, I mean, the project was just amazing when I looked at the subjects that were already selected. And then I said, you know, we really need to have Miyabi, who is the scientist slash musician, because when she speaks about cannabis and the science of cannabis, it's like poetry. And there are very few people who can make cannabis sound that exciting to even people who are less familiar with it. But just the host of subjects that we have in the film, creative director, someone who's basically helped pave the way in terms of like turning what may seem like, you know, a very simple statement into something that has helped to galvanize women in the cannabis industry. Buy Weed from Women, Jasmine Mans. Having a chef, a jazz vocalist, and, you know, of course, jazz is kind of synonymous with cannabis, especially when it was being criminalized by the United States government. Just having so many wonderful people who share their stories with us, share their passions, shared, you know, also sort of the fear of being a cannabis user because there's so much stigma behind it. But again, more so their passion, their reverence of the plant, and how it has helped or been a tool for you know, their creativity. And I also love it because I feel that it will inspire people who don't think they're creative to like think outside of the box when it comes to that. I think every day people make creative decisions, even if you're an accountant. I mean, sometimes you make very, very, very creative decisions. I used to work in an accounting firm, so I know. But every single day you kind of like move through the acts of creativity. So I want more people to like begin to explore that, but also explore the plant. You don't have to use it, but you can at least learn about it, see what the benefits are, and how it can help people even beyond the process of consumption, because the plant itself, I wouldn't say it's a panache, but it can absolutely help to change our world. Thank you.
Yes, I think that's a very interesting topic. And it goes along with the podcast panel that I'm doing on Wednesday at 5 with Jamie Zellermeyer and her mother. And if you're interested in the relationship of like drugs and, you know, mother and daughter or families and how it affects people, that podcast might be interesting to watch as well at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. Let's hear from Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Now, where are you from?
I'm in Buffalo, New York, and I'm originally from upstate.
Yeah, Charles is also from Buffalo, Amanda. I didn't know if you know.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And my film is To the Moon and Back, and it had its world premiere a couple of weeks ago at the Buffalo International Film Festival. So this film is very special to me. It's I guess it's the first film I've made kind of knowing what I was doing. I am a painter, I'm academically a painter. And what is exciting for me about film is that it's kind of like 16 paintings stacked on top of each other, but you also get to hear what's in my head. And it's also something that takes longer and is even more obsessive than my painting. I can spend all day and still be in my pajamas at like dinner time and realize that I've edited 3 of the most beautiful seconds of all time. And I love that so much. So I've just fallen in love with the medium and used it to tell a story that means a lot to me. My film is inspired by lived experience, although it's not exactly the way things went down. But it was really important to me when I was making this film about space and relationships, and about how there's this gravitational pull within an unhealthy relationship that makes you feel like you cannot leave. And I wanted to make a film so that other women who might feel they couldn't leave would realize that actually they could. So it was really, in some ways, it was harder to make this film than it was to live through it the first time. But I'm very proud of it. And I had a wonderful small group of my best friends really helping me put this together. I am incredibly grateful to my best friend Gary Zabanowitz for playing the part of the antagonist. There was a moment where we were afraid that that the neighbors who were watching us film this were going to call that we're domestic. And I am just so very grateful to my friends, to my partner Kurt Treby, to my friend Gary Zabanowitz, and my friend Mark Snyder for their help putting this together.
I love how you. Oh, sorry. I love how you love editing, because most filmmakers I speak to hate the editing process. Like,
it's so good. It's so good.
Like, I love editing, and all the other filmmakers are like editing.
So I wrote my music too, using Soundtrap and loops, and it's just really exciting, like those moments when everything hits together and the multiple seeing many things and having them just line up just right. It's the best.
And so just to
Wait, can I just say something? So Amanda, because we were chatting before, let me see if I get this straight, okay? You're a painter, you're a writer, you're a filmmaker, and you make the music.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. I just want to be clear that you do everything.
I'm also an educator.
That's amazing.
Well, so I feel like it's making a film is kind of like making a bouquet, right? Like, what flowers you want to include, but the people you're collaborating with kind of bring you different things. And then that ends up, that's how my films end up. If somebody's really bringing me a little bit more, I've got more delphiniums than roses this time around. And I just feel that's really natural and beautiful.
Amazing.
So I am in the same block as Ilana. I'm really excited. My film is 5 beautiful minutes.
Yep. And if you guys want to see those films, they're starting at 6:00 right after this meet and greet. So stay on and not on this, but click on the link for the films, and then you can see those films that are coming up. Let's meet Jay. Although I know we just did a Q&A with Jay, but I'm sure he could talk some more about himself and his project. Go ahead, Jay.
Hi. My name is Jay Leonard, and I wrote and directed the feature Break Glass, which played in the 3:00 block, 3 to 5 today. So fresh off the press, I guess. It's we made a small road trip movie about relationships and redemption, and we did it for almost no money, and we did it in about 15 days, and with an incredibly talented crew and cast of people who all kind of got together to make it happen. One of them is in this group, 2 squares below me right now, depending on how you're laid out. And all right.
Andrew. Look what Andrew, he's causing controversy.
So that's our story. Justin, you have anything to add? You want to chat?
My name is Justin Wambach, and I was the director of photography on Break Glass, and a film like this kind of resonated with me a little bit about obviously mistakes of the past and those drastic steps we take to rectify them, whether they're seen as good or bad. And I think one of the things with like Jay Leonard's film, it's all about relationships and people. And one of the things I tried to bring to the film is the harshness of that, and with the quality of the light sometimes. Like if you notice, like throughout the film, there's harsh beams of light going towards, it's not all soft light. It can be an intermix, so to bring that style of quality to it, and then like Jay said, it was shot in 15 days, but it was a hell of a 15 days. And we did things that were absurd. We put a car on a tow bed and strapped 2 cameras to it and drove it down the road for an ungodly amount of time and shot.
So wait, Justin, where are you and Jay located?
I'm in Wineskill, New York, but that's just outside of Troy, which I guess if you don't know where that is, it's outside of Albany.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm about 20 minutes or 25 minutes outside of Albany.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really cool places to film up there. Did you guys film locally up there?
Yeah, we did. The movie takes place. It's a road trip movie that takes place from like sort of central western. Well, it takes place from Middletown all the way up through near Buffalo, and then to Springfield, Massachusetts. And we pretty much shot, except the field trip we took to Mass one day. We pretty much shot everything on like Justin, how long was that stretch of road? Like 5 miles or something?
Oh yeah, it was something like that. And we were driving like 30 miles, less than 30 miles an hour.
Yeah,
I mean, so it was like, it was something else. Because, I mean, like, anyone who makes a film knows that, like, you get there on the day and it's like you can plan as much as you want and it doesn't work out. And the day where all the car interiors or the exteriors, I guess, all the scenes were shot on the same day. And that day we arrived on set with a plan to use 3 different cameras and a light. Well, it turns out the light wasn't a great option because it's just like a safety and a rigging concern. And then the third camera was a bust because the flatbed was too shaky. So then we just said, screw it, we'll take 2 cameras, shoot coverage, then move them, shoot coverage again. And then we had 2 different cars to swap out. So we had to reset the whole thing. Again, 2 cameras. But we made the best of it. And, that day started off like a very gloomy day. And we didn't start shooting till afternoon.
Yeah, it was like 1 o'clock or something.
There was an impressive amount of fog. So once that lifted, it was almost sheer luck. But I think that's the greatest thing about filmmaking is that, you're dealt these cards in a hand and it's like you have to play them. So
yeah,
I think it really worked out.
That's really cool. Yeah. So you did a lot of like obviously like shots while they were moving in the car.
The car was mounted on a flatbed, and we had what were they called? They were
the car mounts.
Yeah, I don't know what brand they were.
I forgot.
And we rented a second camera because the primary camera was my personal one, which is a C100. So yeah, really cool.
You did a great job, though, in the film. I could tell you that. The cinematography, we were talking to Jay Leonard right before this. Man, great stuff. Great stuff.
Thank you.
I thought a lot of the stuff was done with natural lighting, and he just let me know. He's like, actually, there was a lot more that went into it. And I was like, well, seamless. And what we really liked out of the project is it felt natural. Everything felt really natural.
So like we're all New Yorkers here, so I was wondering, what is your favorite part about living in New York?
The taxes. No,
No, it's not. That can't be your favorite part.
I really love them.
I like
jump in. Anyone can jump in.
If I could say something, I love the seasons. For film, everyone says they hate the winter, but like the idea that as all of us here are filmmakers, that we have that as a backdrop, we have that type of diversity in the way our world looks every few months. I think it gives us a unique, image when you think of New York.
What were you saying, Kat? Was it Cassia who was? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, though I'm from New York City, I think that a lot of people forget the diversity that all of New York has. People just think like when they think New York, they think concrete. It's like, no, New York has farms, New York has mountains, New York has like everything, and I think that's what I really love. It's just that there's just so much that's always going on, and you can, be in like the hustle and bustle, like on the Lower East Side. You can be in Times Square, then you can like drive like an hour or 2 and you're kind of in the country, and keep on driving up further for a couple 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours.
You're definitely in the country, right?
You're definitely in the country. So that's what I really love about New York.
For me, it's the people. I think that you can be anywhere in the world and a New Yorker. You're talking to a New Yorker. That New Yorker has a point of view that you get, and it's incredible. Like there's nothing better than hearing a New Yorker tell a story. There's this moment where you're just like, yes, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I think that the New York State Thruway is a modern marvel, and I think that we should respect it and show it. No, I like being
the tolls.
Yeah. I like being. I like up here is cool. Because we're a couple hours away from the city, and we're also, you know, just a few hours away from Boston. We're a few hours away from Montreal. It's like there's a lot of stuff around, which is what I'm a big fan of. And then, you know, from just like the filmmaking aspect of it, you know, like you guys said it, or actually you didn't say it, we said it. We just substituted like the whole state in about 5 miles from my house or 10 miles from my house or whatever, you know, for our road trip. It's got a lot of production value, and you can pop into all these little towns, you know, these little towns with little diners and little stores. And it's just cool. And then, you know, again, you can just a couple hours away and, you know, you're in the biggest city in the world. So,
yeah. I used to make a drive like from Rochester to sometimes the city. Cause when I was a kid, I used to do auditions in the city all the time.
Yeah.
And then I went to SUNY New Paltz for college. So I used to always drive like from Rochester, where I grew up, all the way down the thruway, like you were saying. And I actually had a collection of all pictures that I would take, like wherever I stopped on the thruway, and like had them separated by like exit, like, you know, exit. Exit. It was really cool. So I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. It does have a lot of production value, like that thruway of New York. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm so excited that there's somebody else singing the praises of the New York State Thruway, because
I did not expect this conversation.
Is also in my film. Like, who would have ever thought? But for me, it's probably the history. There is so much interesting, diverse history in New York State, because there have been folks in this area for so long. And there is so much interesting, spooky, kind of haunted New York stuff too, which is, you know, when I think of history, I'm thinking about like the simultaneous quality of a space separated only by time. And it's just exciting. There's so much here. So many people have been here, and so many people will be.
So before I forget, guys, I just wanted to allow you guys to share your email address with other filmmakers if you'd like to keep in touch, or, you know, touch base with them with any of their projects. You can type it right into the chat. It won't be live for everybody on Facebook, but if you guys as filmmakers wanted to collaborate, you can leave your email and get in touch with each other. Yeah, and I think that's also the great thing about making films is the different communities and little tribes that you make of filmmaker friends that can always help you out along the way. And let's see.
That's what it's all about. These film festivals are all about these networking opportunities. I can't tell you how many times, even running this film festival, that I've linked up with filmmakers to be a part of my productions, help doing the editing, acting, whatever it may be. And it's kind of like a level up, you know, together we can make beautiful things together. And I think that's the true nature of our film festival and what film festivals should strive to be, so that we come together.
And indie filmmakers, I feel like if you're an indie filmmaker, like you just have to help each other out. Like you just have to be there for each other. Andrew says he wants you to call him, Jay. There's collaboration.
Will do.
All right. So also, guys, are there any new projects that you're working on at the moment, or things that you're thinking about working on at the moment? Let's start with Elena.
Oh, Ilana.
I'm so sorry.
No,
did I keep getting it wrong, or did I just get it wrong?
No, it's all good. It's all good. I've been called much worse.
Okay.
So I think for me, I want to continue. I like the documentary world, and you know, the idea of putting a truck on a flatbed and driving it around for 10 miles actually gave me a little bit of anxiety.
Us too.
and also, multiple cameras. So I do like the idea of documentaries. So I'm sticking in the documentary world, and also because the relationship, I like that sort of relationship with people, and hearing and crafting their stories in a unique way. But Kasia, I'm gonna say that we're gonna continue our cannabis and exploration. We've got another bunch of topics that we're sort of interested in having conversations about, especially as more and more people, despite Andrew's comment, as more and more people feel that cannabis is useful in their life. There's lots of different types of uses and ways to use it, from highly medicinal to adult use and that sort of weird wellness in between. But there's a lot of other types of folks who are using it, and lots of other people who have great stories to tell. So we're going to continue to explore those, and keep the conversation going.
I feel like Kasia is kind of a living testament to that, from her own personal experience that she talked about with cancer, right?
Yeah, I mean, and well before that, I kind of make this joke that it's a little too late to call CPS on my mom, but it's not like that. My gyneco was a Rastafarian, and again, I was born in Jamaica and lived there for a couple of years before I moved to the States. And he basically saved my life using cannabis, and so I will be forever indebted to this plant. And well before I was doing consulting or digital media for cannabis, I was an advocate. I still have this letter that I got a response from in 2011 when I was just make medicinal cannabis legal in New York. So I was still out there just trying to advocate for it in some way, just because I know that it can help a lot of people. And that's another reason why I've embarked on this creative journey with Ilana, and we're going to continue doing it so we can tell as many stories as possible and hopefully have more people become more familiar and help to destigmatize the plant.
That's awesome. Can't wait to see more. Jay, any new projects?
Well, yeah, I was going to start talking about the weed project that Justin and I were going to work on, but now thanks. No, I'm just finishing something up. I'm trying to finish a script up for another feature that I hope to get into our collaborators' hands in the next, soon, so that we can hopefully go back to work if everybody wants to go and play again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Justin, anything for you?
Nothing on the personal side, but I work at a news station doing production, so I do day in and day out. I'm shooting and editing, so it's just kind of, and I'm trying to get back into painting, which I do use cannabis for. So it's helped a lot with my depression and all that kind of stuff. So I do agree with that aspect of the healing quality of the plant.
Now we know Amanda, Elena, or sorry, did I say Elena? Is that right? Elena said your next thing was going to be interpretive dance.
Ilana,
right?
Ilana, I'm gonna have to sort of, I don't know. It's all good.
So I actually have just finished another short, and it's called Incantations, and it's dedicated to my parents. It's more of a soundscape, and I've seen my work going in a more experimental direction, and I'm trying to explore non-linear ways of storytelling. So it's shot completely in the woods that I grew up playing in my entire life, and it's me and my mother and the crows that my family feeds. And in order to get some of the shots, my mother and I actually had to hold each other so that I could get the camera around her to see her hands and to get her hands. And so a lot of the dialogue that you hear is recording my mother when she didn't realize that she was being recorded. I'm interested in the duality of these woods are like there's forest bathing, but also at night it is so dark there. They're in the middle of nowhere when it's dark. And I think that sometimes there is so much of a duality in everything. My family might seem a little eccentric to folks on the outside, but they're my parents. They're becoming older. They're becoming fragile. They're my beautiful fragile little birds, and so I've made this film partially about them.
Well, that's so sweet. That's really nice. When you were saying that story, it just reminded me of because my family, like I grew up on a farm, like a 150-acre farm, so I know exactly what you're talking about, like going back to nature and the darkness and in the light, you know, and being out there in the woods. And I married, my husband's from Long Island. So his family's like the exact opposite, from Brooklyn. Like actually they grew up in Brooklyn. And every time, and I'm only in New Paltz, which is not that far from the city. But whenever they come up, they always they comment how dark it is at night because we don't have any street lights. They're like, it's so dark up here. So it just reminded me of that story, the darkness. But yeah, so did we get everybody and everyone's new projects?
I don't know, but now all I want to do is do a documentary on Amanda and her family. Like all I can think about is doing a documentary on them. That sounds amazing. And I think
lovely
there's stories there that go beyond like the experimental, and I would do that.
Yeah,
you can do the making of.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm saying about New Yorkers and storytelling. Like that little bit, I'm like, I'm in. I'm totally in. I've got the camera ready to go.
I feel like that they'd be like the new Tannenbaums.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who the hell knows? It'd be amazing. Like, who knows what we'll find in there?
All right, guys. Well, we're looking forward. In a few minutes, the block is going to go up for the next block of films showing. You can see Elena's film, Cannabis and Creativity.
Oh my God, Alana, I'm going to really.
Oh my God.
Like, it's got to stop now. Now it's just running joke. Now I'm just going to be like, all right.
I know.
Maybe, just change it. It's fine.
I know. Maybe I should. Maybe this is a sign. You're right.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't know what is up.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh.
I'm just really tired from like.
Before we end this, I just want to let the viewers know, if you guys enjoy any of these projects and any of these filmmakers, there is a slew of different award categories that it's up to you guys. You got to push. You guys can push your voting links to people and get them to vote for your projects. They're on our website, CatskillInternationalFilmFestival.com. And you guys did a lot of work. I have a unique perspective because I've seen all your projects in different lights. And congratulations for submitting and being a part of our event. We're thankful for your films, and I hope to see you guys next year, and I hope to see you guys closing night at the Catskill International Film Festival's closing if you can make it. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys. We'll see you guys. Hopefully come